Hey everyone, it's Coach Molly here from Three Pines Leadership, and welcome to another episode of the Lifelong Podcast. I'm really excited to share with you some more of the interviews that took place at the Mindset and Impact Virtual Summit. I thought they were such an amazing set of speakers that were brought together, and the wisdom and the knowledge that they shared was just bar none. And I really want you to get some value out of it. So make sure that you're really listening. Put this on in the car, maybe while you go for a walk, maybe while you get your shopping or your groceries done, maybe while you're preparing your next meal, or maybe while you're relaxing. Who knows? But I hope you enjoy this one. This next speaker is Aleah Cheri, and she's an energy healer, a Reiki healer, and she's also a dancer. She loves dancing, and she uses that as an inspiring part of her life. And she's had a difficult life in her earlier years, but she's been able to tap into what matters the most. And she's going to share with you at the summit stories of resiliency and how she's been able to come to that space, that place of resiliency, by finding peace within herself. And she gives you ideas, tips, and strategies, and some meditations in order to get there. In our interview, we go a little bit deeper into that, and we take that a little bit further. So I want to share this conversation Aleah and I shared at the Mindset and Impact Virtual Summit. If you're interested, you can get a hold of free tickets to the summit available at www.leadershipmade.com. And you can also connect with me on all of the different Three Pines Leadership social platforms out there. So before I sign off and hand you over to the conversation I had with Aleah, I just wanted to say I love you guys from the deepest parts of my heart, and I hope you really, really enjoy this. So this is a conversation I had with Aleah Cheri.
I'm so glad to be here.
We are so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for sharing not only your story, but your journey and your tips and techniques. And they're all things that we can apply so easily into our lives. They're exercises that we can do for 5 seconds in the morning. We can spend 5 minutes in the afternoon if we need to. We can do them on a regular basis, and we can do them when we have those sensations, when our bodies are tingling and we feel that anxiety, and we walk into those situations that are like, whoa, all right, I need to check myself. I need to center myself. I need to find where I am. I need to make space for those feelings that I have. And I need to make space for the feelings of everyone in the room, so that when we come together, we can be our true selves and we can really start solving those problems. Thank you so much for sharing that. I have tingles, and I hope you at home have tingles as well. That was just so powerful, so powerful. I'm really connecting with the idea of feeling your emotions deeply, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're so used to sharing and celebrating the good things in our lives. And we want social media, for example, is all about the good things in life. And even when we're sharing the not so good stuff, we're sugarcoating it, we're glossing it over, we're making it feel like, we're making it look as if we are stronger than we're feeling in that moment. Not stronger than we are, stronger than we're feeling in that moment. But this is your time, my friends. Those of you listening right now, this is your time to give yourself permission to feel hurt, to feel upset, to recognize that those experiences in your lives have helped shape who you are. And it's not a bad thing. Embracing those different, the different hurts, the different celebrations, the different things that we may have changed our definition of what those feelings are over our lives as well, and recognizing that along the way. Because as you say in the first key, it's all about your perspective, and recognizing that we each have different perspectives. And those perspectives can change over time, and they change by allowing ourselves to recognize we can change in the first place. We are able to be resilient, to adapt, to overcome. The reason we as humans are are as superior as we are in terms of animals in the animal kingdom is because of our ability to adapt, to take on new environments and to thrive in them. I also wrote this down, and I think everyone at home needs to write this down too. Be a self-rescuing princess, because that's the only way that we can actually do this, right? If we recognize that we are hurt, we have parts of us that are broken, and that's okay. We all have those parts of us. First, we need to shine light on them and recognize that they are there and they are okay and they're welcome. Those parts of us are welcome to be there. They are what define us and create who we are as people. But don't sit there thinking that those broken parts of you, those bruised parts of you, those hurt parts of you are going to be fixed by someone else. They're going to be fixed by someone else, and that someone else is you, my friends. You have that strength, you have that power, you have that ability inside of you. And you need to use these tips, use these techniques that you're learning, not only in this session, but all of the sessions here at the summit. There is so much that you can do to not only shine your own crown, but also to rescue yourself and to lead yourself, lead your community, lead your kingdom as a brave leader through the darkness. Be that light. Because as Aleah was saying, it's all about taking your community with you. It's about being that bright light, saving yourself so that you can stand up on that stage. You can stand up in front of your family, in front of your community, in front of whoever is important to you. And you can say, I know the path. I have the light. Follow me. And that way we can start inviting our community to start shining their lights and start leading their communities. And together, that's how we brighten this world. That's how we shine lightness into the darkness, my friends. Oh, my heart is just fluttering.
I want to share something. You that's so profound what you said, and I want to include two more on that. You had mentioned the breaking, the falling apart, and broken, and that's so true. But what I want to say is that we are not broken. We are whole and true. What's broken is this illusion of who we think that we are, this illusion of the concepts and the actions that we had to take on to be loved by people who were hurt themselves. A lot of times our parents were deeply hurt and didn't learn another way. And so they hurt us unknowingly. And so it's not us that's broken as a core. It's this illusion of who we've become as a result of thinking that I'm a hurt, broken person, right? Yeah. And so I love that you said that, because we are allowing this breaking of things that aren't working. It's not our truth. It's not who we really are. We're whole as a truth.
It's, I guess I would say broken because I'm feeling like, it's that illusion of being whole that there's kind of like an incongruency with. And feeling broken to me is like something went wrong. But in reality, nothing went wrong. The journey of life is full of ups and downs. And it's the universe giving you a lesson, giving you a difficult lesson in some cases, but a way for you to work through something, a way for you to learn something, either about yourself and your own strengths or your own limitations, because we have limitations and that's normal and that's okay. And recognizing in that, maybe you also learn a piece of empathy. Maybe it's a lesson that you need to learn about yourself in order to understand the perspective that someone else is coming at.
Yeah. You know, and it's true to a lot of people. It feels broken. You know, I can relate to when I hear Nako Bear in Medicine for the People. He has a song and he talks about I've never felt like, I don't even know what whole feels like. How am I supposed to become whole when I don't know what whole feels like? He says something along the lines of that, and I can relate to that. So there is this sense of something breaking, but like I said, it's the breaking. Like, what's broken is this illusion of trying to hold things together that really wasn't ours to hold on to. They are thoughts that were given to us from society. They are beliefs from our parents that are not going to help us move forward. And bless them, you know, but it's time for us to break the chain, break the pattern, break the cycle, and say, you know, like, I'm going to allow myself to break, fall apart, because what I've built myself to be is not the full truth of who I actually am. So if I break this illusion of a shell, I can shine through and get to meet this person that I've never met before. And this is my greatest expression. And this is how I shine it in the world. And let me tell you, it's scary. I don't want to do this. I want to lay in bed. I don't like, these things are real. And even myself, who's up here speaking from a whole expanded space, has telling you that even before making this slide, I knew how big it would be to share it. And there were parts of me that was like, I'm going to rest. I'm going to put this off and do it last minute. But when I decided to sit down and face it, lean into that challenge, to that struggle, that resilience, and I decided to take action anyways, because I knew inside that this is the message for not only myself to feel my greatest, but everyone else is going to hear this. And so please, if that can be a lesson for you as well, know that it doesn't have to be easy. If you feel like laying in bed, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, that is going to happen as we face our greatness, because it's something new. It's unknown. We've never met this greatest part of ourselves because we are birthing it into life and into existence. And so trusting that process is the key.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Taking charge and responsibility for yourself also recognizes that you need to repair, you need to rest, your body needs time to kind of, all of the things that we do and all of the learning that we do in our life, and we learn through experience as well, all of that needs to find its way. It needs to settle itself into our bodies. And that's why we need rest. That's why we need to, spend the day watching TV and just burying our face in a good book sometimes. And that's why those things feel good for us and we want to do those. And at the same time, our brains, we were talking earlier at the beginning of the presentation about our neural networks and how our brains are wired. And there's ways to rewire your brains. Our brains are incredibly cool things. You can have parts of your brain damaged or removed, and the brain has an ability to fill in those spaces and fill in those connections. And the same thing goes when you have these recurring thoughts of, this is how something's supposed to be. It's supposed to be scary to get up on a stage and talk in front of strangers. It's supposed to be scary to go into a new place and to try new experiences. But if we keep telling ourselves it's supposed to be scary, then it's going to be scary. We're creating that network. And every time we repeat it, we're building that highway even stronger and stronger and stronger. And so eventually your brain doesn't want to try and rewire that, but you still have that ability. It's in those thoughts. Your thoughts come first. And though, even if you're not thinking of those thoughts, they are ingrained in your body. They are sitting deeply in your body. But every time you wake up in the morning and you put your hand on your heart and you take that moment to say, today I am strong. Today I can do this. And you have that moment with you and you feel what it feels like to be nervous, and you feel what it feels like to be excited, and you find that pathway to connecting those two and moving yourself from, this feels really scary, to, this is exhilarating. That happens by repeating, not only the words, not only the message, but incorporating it into your body. And that's so much what putting your hand on your heart is about. Maybe that doesn't feel right for you at home. That's fine. Maybe it's jumping up and down. Maybe you go for a run, and that's your time to sit deeply into your emotions and deeply into your feelings. Maybe it's going for a dance or singing in the shower. Find what you need to do to connect to those emotions. Some people sit and they meditate. Some people do yoga. Some people just lay there with their eyes closed. Whatever it takes. But the message behind this, the important thing to take home for this, my friends, is to connect to yourself in whatever way feels true and authentic to you.
Yes. Oh, I love that you said that, because looking back on my journey, like, what helped me through all of that was dance. From fourth grade. Fourth grade, I just danced. So I love that because it's not always, at first, that back then I couldn't put my hand on my heart and feel it. So yeah, people listening to this, it's like, this feels numb. I can't go there. Like I get it.
Yeah.
So dance helped me move through that until it was time to go deeper. And so I
Yeah, we
love
all
that.
have those activities that we do where we have the ability to enter what I call flow state, where we're not thinking about what we're doing. We're really just fully focused on the one thing at hand. And I do a lot of Buddhist meditation, and there's a couple different schools of thought in Buddhism. And one extreme is to think of absolutely nothing. And the other extreme is to fill your brain with so much that you stop having room for other thoughts. And it's this beautiful spectrum, and we all can find ourselves comfortable at a different space, and it doesn't mean we have to stay there. Yeah. We can find that filling our minds with something is what works the best for us at one moment, and then as we progress on our journey and we come to different experiences and different emotions and feelings in our bodies, then we can find a different space on that spectrum to find, maybe today I need to focus on emptying my mind. I need to focus on finding that clarity. But maybe tomorrow I just can't think about what's going on in my own head. I need to fill it with wonderful good things, and kind of push some of those emotions away, until I'm ready to face them and I'm ready to do that deep work. Yeah. What do you think about the idea of having to do that work right here, right now when you're facing it? Or what about taking a break? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna do two things here because that brings up two concepts for me. But I absolutely love, first of all, what you said, because that actually what inspired me to put together the 5-day personalized self-care journey, is because of everything you just said. It's because literally, like, moments in life, you'll approach things differently. So I literally, my 5 favorite YouTube videos over like 7 years journey that are buried that nobody hears about, for each topic of feeling serene or feeling zestful. So I love that you said it, because that's exactly what inspired me to create that. And so, and the second thing, to answer your question, that is also depending on how I'm feeling in the moment. And that's why I work with my clients. We really tailor it to them. If they need a break, I honor that. And we do 30-minute follow-up calls after their hour session, because we get to see where they're at. How are they integrating their process? Are they ready to go deeper? Or do they need to integrate what came up for them a little bit longer? Because from my own journey, I know that, I have bulldozed through a lot of topics and then had to take a year and a half to process it, or what I'm learning now is to do more integrated steps of, like, I'm going to take, this is coming up for me. I'm going to be with this right now. And I'm going to take my time with it. I'm going to rest. I'm going to sleep. Then I'm going to be active. So it really depends on where we're at in the moment. And that's why I like to integrate and tailor to where we're at, because again, like, we are ever evolving. Like, humanity is so diverse and we are so amazing. And so I love to meet in the present moment how we're unfolding. So I feel like it's so dependent, really, on what we need in right now versus what we needed back then, or even 5 minutes ago, right?
Yeah. And this change in mentality that we're talking about here, this ability to adapt and control our thoughts and therefore control our emotions and our feelings, it's applicable not just in the sense of talking about your own feelings and emotions that come up from past traumas, but how people are addressing what's happening in the world right now, and recognizing that you have the strength and abilities and talents to change the world. All of anything you're watching on TV, or you're seeing on your social media feed, or you're seeing in the world around you, a lot of us are feeling like we have no control over that. But I want to tell you guys at home, you totally have that ability. Even if it's in the smallest way possible, you have the ability to make a massive change in your life. And what Aleah is talking about here is having that control and saying to people, I see a better way. And that better way, I'm going to start leading on myself. I'm going to be that role model for my community, that role model for the change that I want to see in the world. So at home, you guys sitting there, do something today. Even if it's just writing down what you're going to do. Write down one goal about how you can change the world, one little baby step at a time. Because it's those ripples in the pond. It's that little baby step that is the first step on the long journey. And I promise you, my friends, just like being here with this community here today and throughout this whole summit, it's about creating that community to follow you. And no one's going to follow you unless you take that first step. So all of us here, the Mindset and Impact Virtual Summit community is here behind all of you. Because if we put our hearts together, if we shine our lights together, and we head out on each of our different journeys, we're going to spread that light further and further and brighter than you ever thought imaginable. Because we are a community here, and we are here to express ourselves. We are here to recognize what hurts in us and to have space for that and to make change with that energy that comes from within us. So thank you so much for joining me for this session, everyone. I love you. I love you. I love you. Any last words?
Yes, there are two things. I would like to encourage when we're talking about controlling this, really infuse that energy with the ability to nurture a garden. And so when we're controlling our thoughts, think of it less as like because I've made it restrictive in my viewpoint. So I'd like to invite people to jump that curve and to incorporate it more like a gardening our mind, weeding our mind from a place of gentle lovingness. And so from that place, we can control what we think from a gentle place. And I'd also like to invite to go a little deeper in the meditations and to really drop into a lot more insights. My podcast, Untethering Consciousness, on anchor.fm, or it's also found on Spotify, Google Podcast, like lots of places. I definitely recommend checking that out. And thank you so much I'm glad to be here.
Amazing. So definitely check out her podcast. And the best thing that you can do to start shining your light in the world, my friends, is to find those kinds of resources like her podcast and share them with people. Share them with the people in your life who you resonate with, who you think this message needs to be heard by those ears. So share the light, everyone. Share the light, spread the joy, and together we can change the world. So I'll see you guys in the next session. Until then, everyone, remember, we love you and be excellent to each other.